Hi, I'm Joe Pro, the golf guy, and this is my son Joey, and he's going to hit a few balls, and what we're going to cover is how to practice after you've had some time of a layoff. So, when's the last time you hit some balls, Joey?
Month and a half ago.
About a month and a half ago. So Joey's going to hit a few balls here. You get a front row shot over there, Bobby. All right, that looks like a good shot there. That's why we slow down video so we can see stuff. Now, obviously, he doesn't have as big of an air as your average golfer, but there are something that everybody could always improve on, okay? So right off the bat, you notice he's got a jacket on. Nobody likes to play golf in a jacket, but it is what it is. And so when you have your jacket on, it's gonna be a shorter golf swing. So because it's a shorter golf swing, you want to work more on good contact. Okay. Now Joey has cheated a little bit. He has hit for a few minutes prior to the taping, but before he started, the first thing that I noticed was, go ahead and get set up, Joey. His posture is a lot better, but when you have a long layoff, what ends up happening is get back into a hunch there, Joey. Because the ball's down there on the ground, you get all this hunching going on, and that makes it very difficult to go ahead and make a nice free pivot or a turn. So we want to make sure that you bend, stand up, and show them the drill. What you want to do is skip this to a letter L here, and then bend forward from the hips without breaking that L. And you can see this L is now on the ground from the player's position here at address. Or another tip, if you got the bending going right, is working on your rear. Get set up again. And you'll notice how the rear is out past the heel. And then this gives room then for his arms to get through to the hitting area. If he ends up having his butt too far in, what ends up happening is he'll stand up to get out of the way. So make sure you got some room for hitting there. All right, Joey, show us that drill that you could do to work on your posture. You start away from the ball, get that into an L there, and then bend from the hips until that touches the ground. Then he's walking in. Very nice, very nice. So let's look at his grip. Go ahead and get set up over the ball, Joey, and let's look at some of the things that you might want to work on when you're taking a little layoff. His grip looks phenomenal. He's been gripping a golf club, so it looks better than what it would be for most golfers just jumping in. Go ahead and get set up at address. What we're going to do is we're going to take your right hand off the club. Now the proper grip here, you want to get your thumb to the right side of the shaft a little bit and be able to see at least a knuckle or two. In Joey's case, you know, he's a little more advanced golfer, so he doesn't have to have as strong of a grip, but a stronger grip usually for a golfer who slices, and a grip that goes a little bit more into a more neutral grip. You want to see at least one knuckle, okay? You don't ever want to have where it's down the middle. This is probably the most common grip problem that every slicer has, even good golfers that do that. Then what happens is they got to roll their hands a lot, and you'll notice when your thumb is down the middle, you can't hinge your wrist. Go ahead. What's that feel like, Joey? It feels like
delayed, like I can.
Right, and it's locked. Now, if Joey didn't use this as a golf club and just grabbed a hammer, he would just grab the hammer with the thumb over here and the foot joist sitting up. Now he could hammer a nail much easier this way than having it like that. So in the golf swing, we want to make sure that we have your grip somewhat like a hammer with the left, okay? The only thing is his thumb is a little long, but I don't know if that's the glove part or not, okay? And then the heel pad, when you look down here, you notice how he doesn't have the end of the club there. This club needs to be right there, okay? From the player's view, when they look at it, they think that they're choked up. You're not choked up. This is right under the heel pad. And so if it's down here, you'll know for the golfers that have this grip way too far down there, they have holes. They have holes in their glove right here. And what ends up happening is when it sits here, it keeps moving and creates a hole. And it doesn't allow you to have club control. So this is where you want to hold the end of the club. And if you don't hold it there at the top of the golf swing, the club could be in all kinds of position. And so if we want it to come back every time, you see how much more control you have there? And we'll put it down here. You don't realize, how heavy is that club?
Not heavy.
And because it's heavy, you're going to react a certain way, whether you throw it too quickly, or it could be over here, it could be over there. So one of the simplest rules that you could have in golf to have a proper grip, look at the end of it from this angle. Because when you look at it that angle, that looks choked up. That's not choked up. Okay, so that's the way to put your left hand on. Go ahead and put your right hand on. Okay, and you'll notice here, the V's here are pointing more towards the right shoulder. And so the right hand, how to put the right hand on proper is you want to make sure, imagine the palm of your right hand as the club face. Some people that like to fix a slice, they think they're going to fix it by turning their hand over here. But what ends up happening when your grip is too strong over here is try to close the face down, Joey. You see that? That's all the farther he can go. So really, if you wanted to really work on closing the face, which I don't condone, but that would mean that if your palm was up here, now close the face joint. See how much more the face can get closed over there. So the neutral position is where we want, where your right palm is basically matching the club face. And so your right palm is there, and you'll notice he's in the fingers, okay? How often I see somebody where it's in the palm of their hand, okay? Get it in the palm. Now that feels like you got a lot of strength holding that club, but it's very slow. It's really slow. You want to try to get your fingers there and then put your hands going down there and then fitting there in the lifeline. Okay? Another example would be this. If we took this and we gave him a ball and we said, throw this ball as far as you can, but I put it in the palm of his hands, right away his brain goes, this isn't going far. Where would you put that, Joey? See that? It goes in the fingers. So now when you grip with your right hand, think baseball and get it in the fingers. That'll feel like, to start with, that you don't have very strong grip on it, but you'll have a lot more speed. So after we have our grip and we have our posture, we have a better chance of hitting this ball. You got a new grip on there, choked up properly. There you go. That's it. You can hear it was a little thin.
Sounded better.
Okay. So, yeah. All right. So make sure that you're holding it proper. Get the grip on. Get the good posture. That's it. That's it. Okay, so I'm going to cover another tendency that'll happen for a golfer. Go ahead and get set up, Joey. Is because when you had a long layover, what'll end up happening is the body starts moving the golf club, and it becomes too much of a body swing where he'll sway with the body and sway through. So what you want to do when you're taking a long layover is get your grip, get your posture, and then practice hitting shots where your body stays frozen and the arms and hands start, and then that'll pull the rest of the body into position. So instead of a body swing going back and forth, we want to feel the arms moving and just trying to keep the body really still. Okay, so after your grip, you got your posture, and then your body is like the foundation of a house. It has to stay stationary. Now that's the different sound right there. And what ended up, did it feel different?
Felt like that.
Okay, what did it feel like? It felt better, but
Less skinny.
right. And what?
Kind of hitting the equator of the ball in the shots.
Right. You know, if you look at this club face, in this ball, okay, there isn't a lot of room. And so when you're moved, the hardest thing to do is to be able to find that center, somewhere in the center. And let me step in there, Joey. When you're doing what I call a body swing, because you haven't hit balls for a while, your body is reacting and trying to help out. So it becomes this kind of move. And And this is what I call a body swing. What ends up happening though is if I start moving my body backwards, okay, now I've got to do a lot to move forward, and as I'm moving back and forth with my body, the club isn't moving as fast. So the three things to really work on when you've had a layoff is get the proper grip, and always look at it from back here. Get the proper posture so you're bending from the hips, and then you're working on, during your backswing, staying very quiet as you take it back. And I like to use a word to remind myself. I say freeze. Okay, and it almost feels like you're not moving at all, but what your body's going to do is it's going to support the swing as opposed to running the whole swing. All right, come on back over here, Joey, and let's do one more where you focus on those two things. And that was the first thing I started to notice when you started to practice, because you had that. It's so easy to start doing this, to start rocking. So don't rock your body. Get those arms and hands to move, and keep your body nice and quiet. I'm not saying your body doesn't get involved in the swing, but it doesn't overtake everything. It's not the leader. It's a supporting actor in the movie. Okay? So 1, 2, 3. We got the right grip, bending from the waist, and staying nice and still with the body. Massively different sound. I don't know if you can pick it up. You probably can feel it.
Yeah.
That little bit of a tip, so invisible to the naked eye. Tell me the difference in the feel.
It was. We'll edit that out. Figure something better.
Amazing.
Tell me
How
what to
about
say.
amazing?
Not amazing. Something better. About
It was cleaner,
Magnificent.
right? And
A
it
lot
was
cleaner.
compressed better,
a lot
right?
cleaner. Felt more
How many
compressed.
balls have you hit before the taping here? You must have hit at least 100 balls, right?
Yeah, around there.
How many of them felt like that?
Just a few.
Right.
And it was towards the end when I started.
And so you were getting loosened up, obviously, because there's hundreds of muscles being coordinated in order to hit the shot. But you got to stay still. You got to stay still. Okay. And if you had been practicing for the last month or so, you'd probably stay still without realizing.
Right.
See, the body would start to react and stay still as this is moving around. But when you first come out and you're like, okay, I'm going to make a golf swing, you just start, everybody starts body swinging. So you got to make that your priority. Whenever you've had a layoff, we're back to the basic fundamentals. Grip, posture, and keeping your body quiet. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so to wrap it up, we worked on the grip, the left hand. What do we want to make sure the left hand? 3 points with the left hand. 1, make sure that you're choked down below this line. 2, make sure that your thumb is off to the right side of the shaft, okay? Okay, if we did it in a clockwise, your left hand. And trying to get it to about 2 o'clock, okay? And right now, Joey's got probably a little bit too, yeah, there you go. Okay. And then the heel pad is on top. You choke up. So the 3 again, let me say it again. You're choked up 1, the heel pad is on top, number 2, and number 3, you're off to the right side of the shaft. Okay? And then your right hand is mirroring the club face, more in the fingers, think baseball. Okay? This allows his wrist to hinge and to create a lot more speed with his hands. Okay? And then to sum it up, posture. Now, that posture, going back, go ahead, get set up. And then get set up. Now this posture, making sure you bend from the hips, that's another thing that will allow him to stay more quiet. If his posture was poor and it was in there, when he takes his backswing, because it'll be connected and his lower body can't support the rest of it, that'll also cause some of this moving around, okay? So we want to make sure the grip, the posture, and then staying nice and still with the body, and get the speed of your arms and hands. Okay? And you probably think this would be the opposite that you'd have to do in order to get faster, but here's the reality. Think of, you know, when you're running, your arms are moving, and when you want to run faster, your arms move faster. So what ends up happening is the legs and the body they respond to what your arms and hands are doing. So if you swing your arms faster, your body actually will support you to go faster. So if you want it to go fast, move your arms. Those are the arms, but not at the expense of moving your body. All right? I hope this works out for you when you go to the dome or someplace indoors. Good luck.